I use these settings to improve my freestyle and competitive playing over 100%. These settings will either take you to the next rank or improve your freestyle ability drastically. I've done freestyle for a couple years in tournaments against the likes of Jaxi, TX and many others. These settings are ones I've created through all of the years of trial and error, so make sure to stay to the end of the video to see all of my settings. Before I get into the settings, like and comment to push this video on the algorithm and to hit my like target of 50 likes in this video. I've made like a cross between freestyle and competitive. I've not made it specifically for one of them. I've made it for both. I just don't bother switching settings, so I just keep the same ones. So I'll show you what all of them do, why I picked them, and I'll show you all of my settings. Starting off with gameplay, nothing special at all in gameplay to be honest. I think some of these aren't default, but who cares. Camera shake off, obviously, everyone's got camera shake off. If you've not got camera shake off, then what are you doing? Distance is at 250 here. This is because in comp you want a higher distance away, freestyle you want a closer distance. For freestyle I always have about 240 distance, for comp I've always got around 260. So I've got a middle ground for both of them. And I think 250s are good enough for freestyle anyway. Maybe you want a bit more for comp, I don't know. But I personally would put 250. For height I've got 100. I prefer 100 a lot for dribbles, because you can just be in line with the ball and have like perfect flicks. I say that as I just completely butcher a flick, but... So I've got around 100 height, you can have 110. Some people have 110 for flip reset, some people have 110 for comp, but I just prefer 100. You see less of the field, but at the same time you see more of your car, and you're controlling your car, so that's best I think. Angle, -4, some people have -3, some -5, and if you're doing flip resets you've got -9. But I think -4 is a good middle ground for clip hitting where you can see your car well. You can see over your car for flip resets, you can see over your car for musty flicks or whatever, you can see over your car for dribbles, you can see over your car for anything. So that's the best middle ground to be honest. If you don't really do all that and you're just a hit the ball kind of player, then maybe -3 or so would be better, but just put it at -4, who cares. Next, stiffness, I've got 0.25, that's for comp. Having stiffness is a lot better. When you've got lower stiffness, when you go supersonic, your car moves out further. When you've got your stiffness up at 1, the car just doesn't move out at all. And I personally prefer it lower down for comp. I prefer it closer to 1 for freestyle, but this is a cross one, so I've combined both. So I think 0.25 is a good middle ground to be honest. But these bottom 3, they're just personal preference really. They don't really matter at all. These bottom 2, they don't matter at all to be honest. I wouldn't have swivel speed really high up, otherwise you'd just be playing in slow motion. But I have this to make the clips look a lot cleaner, and I think they're good for dribbling and moving between camera. But those are just personal preference. If you prefer your one, then just don't change it. Now finally for inverted swivel, I would have inverted swivel on. I think it's actually really good, really underrated, and not too many people actually have this on when they should. This basically improves your air dribbling, it improves everything really. If you don't have this on, I feel like you're missing out. So all your air dribbles, all your flip resets, they just come from inverted swivel in my opinion. You can have it off. It's just how your car moves above the ball. So I feel like it is a lot better. So that's all of my camera settings there. I'm going to go into my controls. Here's my keybinds. Personally, just keep the keybinds you have. No one cares if you've got boost on RB or B. It's exactly the same thing. Just do whatever you're used to. It really doesn't matter at all. So here's all of my keybinds. So nothing special at all to be honest. Just going through all of them here. Sound interface, actually no, I need to try these. So steering sense, aerial sense, always have these at 2. It might be better to have them a bit higher up for comp, but I like to do air dribbles, and the lower your sensitivity settings are, the better it is for air dribbles. So I always have it right down low. If you do flip resets and musty flicks, I would have it a bit higher up. I would probably have it like 2, 5, 3, I wouldn't have it higher than 3. 3 would be my absolute max, because the higher up your sensors, the better your musty flicks and flip resets would be. So I've got a good middle ground between air dribbles and flip resets. Some people have it right up the top. If you're used to it, who cares, you've got the settings, you're used to it. But if you're just starting out and choosing your settings, always have it at around 2. These 2 settings here, people have these normally at 3 to stall. I know people who stall at 0.1. It doesn't matter. Now for the dodge dead zone, I've got my dodge dead zone at 0.3. I think this is the perfect middle ground as well. Any higher than my car just feels completely stiff. Any lower, my car feels too light, so I just think 0.3 is perfect. All of these disabled as well. Who cares about vibration? You're not using it as a vibrator. All of these, I don't use keyboards and mouse, so I don't care at all. Interface, I have nameplates at 120 so you can see the other people on the field a lot better. I use this as well. Some people ask, how do you have your boost that colour? Buy this one here. All of the other ones, I think they're all default as well. Actually, I couldn't care about the item shop, so I turned that off. All of these I have at performance. For videos I put them all at high quality. But just for the meantime, I've got all of them at low performance. Well, high performance, low performance wouldn't be the best. But I've got high performance, performance, all of these turned off. That's the best settings by far. Then the audio here. I never listen to music. You can put the master up a bit if you want. I feel like if you're doing comp, you definitely want this up. I just could never care less about this, to be honest. So I always leave it around there. I always leave it at 0, couldn't care less. If you're doing comp, have it a lot higher. But they're all of my settings.